Susan, tell us what you're doing right now in the field of marketing.
Hi, Jim. It's fun to be back with you again. I am now in Austin, Texas. I left the startup I was at, and I'm at a much larger company. And now I'm responsible for global branding and communications. And my team is responsible for the brand, for messaging, for new product go-to-market strategies, and also for some sales enablement. So I'm excited to be talking to you today.
Oh, that's great. We're glad to have you. Now that you're working for a different company and across a broader set of responsibilities, what are you seeing that are important new trends in terms of how sales and marketing can work better together?
Yeah, you know, it's really interesting. I was just reading an article today, and it was talking about the trends, especially for business to business. And sales enablement is getting to be one of the top priorities. And what's really fun, in the past, you and I have talked about how sales and marketing can work well together, is there's new channels and tools which really require sales and marketing to be in alignment. And one of these is social selling, really taking the opportunity of social media and community building and making that part of the sales process. But to do that, sales and marketing have to be exactly in alignment.
What are some recent successes you've enjoyed using these new ideas?
Yeah, I have two examples. One is a personal example, and this was about a year and a half ago. And a company sent me an email, and in it, it had a quiz, and it said, if you answer this quiz, you'll get the aggregated results from everybody who takes the quiz. And I thought it was fun, and it my particular industry and business. And then as soon as I took the quiz, I realized what they were really selling me was their services for research. And they had this whole thing mapped out where it was exactly in alignment between marketing and sales. So marketing had sent me the email, but instantly sales called me back, which isn't unusual. But then I noticed they started following me on some of my social channels. They started commenting on some of the same things I was commenting on. And in the end, 6 months later, I called these people up because I built a relationship with them. And it was very much throughout the process as the person being targeted, I couldn't even tell when I was talking to sales and when I was talking to marketing. They had it very well organized. One personal example. But another example here at the company I'm at is our team worked closely with sales to identify some key accounts that they were having trouble getting into. And they were using, we brought on LinkedIn and used a navigator tool so that we could really target these customers and these accounts. And marketing and sales work together to make sure the content was in alignment. We also do some advertising on LinkedIn as well. And in the end, one of our top vice presidents of sales got into an account within 4 weeks of this campaign running. And he'd been trying to get into the account for 3 years. And he ended up closing a really big piece of business within 3 months. So it's a great example of how using some of these social selling tools and having marketing and sales in alignment can see results really fast.
What do you think are the most important things to understand as people are getting started with this?
Yeah, I mean, one, you really need to have some social media programs already in place. If you're going to do some social selling, you need to understand how these channels work, whether it's LinkedIn or other channels. The other thing is, just like all good sales and marketing enablement, you have to be aligned on who you're targeting, whether it's a target account list, whether it gets down to actual individuals targeting, you know, focused in the right place. And then lastly, I always suggest that you start with a pilot because these programs can get really big, really fast, and really complicated. And if you try to roll something out to 1,000 target customers with 200 sales reps, it's going to get a little bit out of your hands, and you won't know what to expect. So I always say start with a small test. In our case, we started with a test in one country with a handful of sales reps and a very defined target list of who we wanted to reach.
Susan, this has been really, really helpful. Thank you so much for taking the time to talk with us today. And I know everybody's going to find what you've given them really valuable moving forward.
Well, thanks for having me.